What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Hustle with Jesse W. And today we're going to go over dividend investing. That's right, long-term, actual passive income investing. Check it out. Alright guys, so that's right. Today's topic is on actual passive income. Now, for those of you who don't know, if you're a day trader, if I'm a day trader, and that's all we do, or any other active business that we do, we're not making passive income. Passive income means we're literally making money for doing absolutely nothing, okay? When you're day trading and you're making money, that is active income. When you're running a business, that is active income. If you're a 9-to-5 and you go to your 9-to-5 job and you're making money between 9 to 5 when you punch the clock, that is active income. Okay, the passive income could be something like a rental property. You actively maintain it here and there, but you are passively actually making money via your rent, via the cash flow from it, because you're not always working on the property, right? I've had a rental before and I have another rental and I'm not working on my property every single day. There's not something that has to be done with the property or the tenant every single day. Therefore, that income is actually passive income. Now, another form of passive income, right, there's a few. Another one, which is the one we're going to talk about today, is dividend stock or ETF funds investing. So it's dividend paying out equities, okay? That's what we are going to talk about today. It's when you purchase an equity, be it an ETF or a stock itself from a company, and it pays you a dividend throughout the year, okay? That means you actively did one thing. You purchased it and then did nothing. That right there makes it a passive income stream because it's going to pay you out progressively throughout the year. Now, what's a dividend? A dividend is nothing more than what a company pays a shareholder for just basically holding shares of the company, for holding stock. Okay, so let's say you bought a company XYZ and they have a dividend that they pay out. Well, you as a shareholder will partake in that dividend. Dividends are typically paid out various ways. They're either paid out monthly, quarterly, biannually, or annually. That's how dividends are generally paid out, okay? Now, if you want to find out what the yield is on your money, okay? So like this, so you buy a share of a stock, okay, that pays dividends, and you want to know the yield, like what you're getting back on your money percentage-wise, right? And we're not talking about the price of the stock going up. We're just talking about the current dividend that's being paid out at the time of you purchasing the stock. So it's very simple. You'd get the price of the stock and the amount of money that's paid on dividend. So let's say you buy a $20 stock. This stock pays out, or this company pays out $1 per share that you own on a yearly basis, okay? That's the dividend, $1. Now you get the $1 divided by 20 and it gives you 0.05. That is 5%. So you're making 5% return on those $20 on that one share you purchased. You purchase one share every year, you're going to get $1 for that share. Now, of course, you're going to purchase more shares than that throughout, the time that you're invested in, but that's just a way to keep the math very simple so you understand it, so I understand it, so it can be easily explained in a very short video because we don't want to make this a 30-minute video by any means. So that would be your dividend yield, okay? And that's something you always want to know because you want to make sure you're getting a decent return on your money, right? Would you rather have a $1,000 stock that pays you $1 a year on dividend, or do you rather have a $20 stock that pays you $1 a year on dividend? Albeit both are, let's say, very good, healthy companies. Obviously, you don't want the $20 one to be a fly-by-night garbage company and the $1,000 one be a very high-end, long-lasting company. So we're going to compare these as apples to apples here, not apples to oranges. So if they're both the same, I personally would rather invest $20 and receive $1 in dividends versus investing $1,000 and receiving the same $1. I could buy way more shares of the $20 one and make way more money, albeit if the company is a healthy company. That's something one has to research for themselves. Now, the next step is finding the company, right? What type of company am I going to invest in? Well, I'll tell you right now, I have a little bit of Disney. I have, God, what else do I have? I'd have to go check my portfolio, but I know I have Disney right out of the gates. I only have like a few shares of like 3 different companies because I just started doing this about 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to tell you exactly the money that I'm using to invest, how I'm going about that. It's basically a challenge that I'm doing for myself. We're going to leave that for another video. So let's refocus back up. So let's say, I say, okay, I want Disney, or I want Apple, right? Or I want to invest in Coca-Cola, or I want to invest Pfizer. I have Pfizer, right? Let's say I want to do some of those. Okay, now I want to go ahead and research those companies, right? I want to go ahead and see what their history is as far as paying out dividends. Now that I know the type of companies I want to look into, which for me personally is going to be companies that have been around for a very long time, have a good track record, and are, profitable companies, basically, nice blue chip type companies. Now what I do is I go over to the Yahoo Finance and I go into the history, right? And I look and see what the their average dividend payout is, right, over the course of 5-10 years. If I see that it's healthy, right, if I see that it's a company that has a good balance sheet, you can see all this there, then it might be a company I might be interested in purchasing, right? A few shares, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shares, because what I'll do is I'll build up a portfolio of different companies so that not all my eggs are in one basket, right? When I invest in individual stocks, that is. Because I could also, and I will, and I do have, invest in ETFs, which we'll go over at a later time, on ETFs that pay dividends, okay? That's something a little bit more simple because it's just one ETF that covers a multitude of companies. So now that I know what the dividend yield is, okay? Now that I know what type of company I'm looking to invest in, and now that I know where to go look and research on the company, right? The next logical step would be for me to realize the amount of time that I'm going to need to invest in order to make the kind of return I want, right? Because $1 per share is not a whole lot, right? If it's a $20 stock and I buy 100 shares, that's a $2,000 investment. Okay, I'm making $100 a year on dividends. Obviously, if the stock price goes up, my underlying investment is increasing dramatically at this point in its overall value. So it's not to say that I'm just going to make $100 on $2,000 every year. No, if the company is doing well and it's growing, it might also increase its dividends. And instead of making $100, I might make $150 on those 100 shares. Okay, and all I initially invested was $2,000, and now my underlying portfolio might be valued at $3,000. Okay, so I have $1,000 that I've increased there in value of my investment, plus I'm making $150 at that point in dividends every year. Now, obviously, I'm using smaller numbers here so we can all grasp the idea. You can have 1,000 shares, 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares. The more shares you have, the more shares I have, the more dividends we actually would make. So that's how that would work. Now, this would be something that I would invest in weekly, monthly. I throw a few bucks into some stock or into a dividend paying out ETF over the course of time so that I can grow a portfolio, right? And maybe 10, 15, 20 years down the line, I have enough money in there that now the dividends are paying me enough, which is my goal, to cover my expenses, my monthly expenses. If my monthly expenses are about $3,000, then I would like to have, ideally, enough dividends paying me to cover those monthly expenses. Now, doesn't that sound good? That is actually passive income. That is where, passive income can be had at probably one of the most passive levels there is. Okay, because all you're doing is putting your money literally to work for you. You're buying a dividend investing stock, all right, or a dividend paying out stock, and that stock, that company, is paying you just for you to hold the shares. That's it. It would be a multitude of different companies that I would own, or of ETFs that pay out dividends. That would be the goal, and that's pretty much it. I'm actually starting to do that right now, and I think it's going to go fairly well over the course of a long period of time. It's going to take time to build up that portfolio because I'm not a rich person, right? But that's something that I'm working on just because I don't want to work actively for the rest of my life. Not like 40 hours or 60 hours a week type, right? I want to have investments that are going to require some sort of monitoring, right? And plus, I'll always be the type of person that's going to actively be looking to do something, but I don't ever want to have to work because I have to, only because I want to. And that's where those type of investments will come into play for me. by covering my expenses. Now let me know what you think about dividend investing. Drop it in the comment section below. Remember to smash the like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.